The Alcatraz escape of 1962 is one of the most infamous and captivating prison break stories in modern history. Alcatraz, often referred to as the Rock, was a maximum security prison located on a small island in the middle of San Francisco Bay. Renowned for housing the most dangerous criminals in the United States, Alcatraz was believed to be virtually escape-proof due to its isolation, cold waters, and heavily guarded structure. However, 3 inmates, Frank Morris and brothers John and Clarence Anglin, managed to accomplish what seemed impossible. They broke free from Alcatraz and vanished without a trace. The Rock, a fortress of impossibility, Alcatraz was considered the most secure prison of its time. Built on a rocky island surrounded by cold, treacherous waters, it housed high-profile criminals such as Al Capone, George Machine Gun Kelly, and Birdman Robert Stroud. The prison's isolation and natural defenses made it the last place anyone could think of escaping from. The federal government transformed Alcatraz into a maximum security facility in 1934, designed to hold the nation's most dangerous and incorrigible prisoners. Over the years, several escape attempts had been made, but most ended in failure, with escapees either captured, killed, or presumed drowned in the cold, unforgiving waters. Yet, the attempt by Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers would become the stuff of legend. The mastermind, Frank Morris, the mastermind behind the escape plan, was a highly intelligent and resourceful criminal with an IQ reportedly above 130. He had a history of escaping from various prisons across the country, and in 1960, he was transferred to Alcatraz due to his record as an escape artist. There, he met the Anglin brothers, John and Clarence, who shared his dream of freedom. The Anglins, like Morris, were career criminals, known for their numerous bank robberies. Both were strong swimmers, having grown up in Florida, and had made several unsuccessful escape attempts from other prisons before their transfer to Alcatraz. The 3 men became close inside the prison, and together they began to devise an audacious plan to break free from one of the most secure facilities in the world. The escape plan. The plan to escape from Alcatraz was meticulously thought out and involved months of preparation. The first challenge was getting out of their cells. Using spoons stolen from the prison mess hall and modified into tools, the men spent months digging small holes in the walls of their cells. These holes led to an unguarded utility corridor behind the cells, which provided a pathway to the roof. They covered the holes with cardboard and paint during the day to avoid detection by the guards. Morris and the Anglins were not alone in their escape. A 4th inmate, Alan West, was part of the plan but was ultimately left behind when he couldn't squeeze through the hole he had carved in his cell wall on the night of the escape. West would later provide key details about the plan to authorities. Once the men broke through their cell walls, they climbed to the roof of the cell block, using makeshift tools and ingenuity. To escape from the roof, they had created life vests and a makeshift raft out of raincoats they had acquired over several months. Using glue they had stolen from the prison workshop, they stitched together more than 50 raincoats to fashion the raft. On the night of June 11, 1962, Morris and the Anglin brothers made their move. They crawled through the holes in their cells, climbed to the roof, and made their way down to the island's shore. Using their homemade raft, they pushed off into the dark waters of San Francisco Bay, hoping to make it to the mainland. The great mystery: what happened to them? By the morning of June 12, 1962, the prison guards discovered that Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers were missing from their cells. An intense manhunt ensued, but despite a massive search of the island, the bay, and the surrounding areas, no trace of the men was found. Debate over whether the men survived or perished in the bay has raged ever since. Officially, the authorities concluded that they likely drowned in the cold, strong currents of the bay. Parts of the homemade raft were found washed up on nearby Angel Island, and a few days later, one of the life vests was discovered floating near the Golden Gate Bridge. However, no bodies were ever recovered, and various clues and alleged sightings of the men over the years have kept the mystery alive. Some theorize that the men successfully made it to shore and managed to disappear, possibly escaping to South America. The FBI, however, remained skeptical, believing the harsh conditions of the bay would have made survival unlikely. Letters, photographs, and new leads for decades, the escape remained unsolved, but new developments occasionally reignited public interest. In 2013, a letter surfaced, allegedly written by John Anglin, claiming that he, his brother Clarence, and Frank Morris had survived the escape and lived quietly in hiding. According to the letter, John Anglin had developed cancer and was willing to negotiate a deal in exchange for medical treatment. However, the FBI was unable to verify the authenticity of the letter. In another intriguing twist, the Anglin family claimed to have received Christmas cards and photographs from the brothers over the years, suggesting they had made it to Brazil and were living in hiding. A photograph, purportedly of the Anglin brothers in Brazil in the 1970s, was later analyzed by facial recognition experts, who suggested that the men in the photo bore a strong resemblance to the Anglins. In recent years, the U.S. Marshals Service, which took over the investigation from the FBI, continues to classify the case as open, keeping the possibility alive that the men survived. Cultural legacy and impact. The Alcatraz escape has become legendary, inspiring books, documentaries, and even the 1979 film Escape from Alcatraz starring Clint Eastwood. The ingenuity and courage it took to break out of the most secure prison in the United States has captured the public's imagination, turning the escape into a symbol of resilience, hope, and the indomitable human spirit. Alcatraz itself, which closed as a prison in 1963, has become a popular tourist destination, with visitors flocking to see the infamous cells and hear the stories of the daring escape. The tale of Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers endures as one of the most thrilling prison escapes of all time. Conclusion: the Alcatraz escape of 1962 remains one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries. Whether Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers perished in the waters of San Francisco Bay or successfully made it to freedom remains an open question. Their incredible ingenuity, daring, and determination have cemented their place in the annals of crime history, and the mystery surrounding their fate continues to captivate and intrigue people to this day.